friends, welcome to the orientation program on general proficiency for teachers to teach in English, an initiative by the government of Andhra Pradesh. In this video, we are going to discuss the objectives of day 1 and how to transact all the activities and the important points to remember while transacting the activities. And I provided all the required materials links under this video's description. Just click and download. Let's start the video.
This is day 1, welcoming English medium instruction EMI. The main theme of this day is to welcome the English medium instruction and deblocking our minds and erasing all the assumptions, and we have some negative and psychological factors regarding the language learning. So erasing all those things and welcoming English language is the main theme of this day. Session 1, let's get started. Time allotted for this session is 60 minutes. Main learning objectives of this session is: the session will enable the participants to get acquainted with each other, realize the purpose of the training program, overcome their inhibitions, and accept the ground rules of workshop. Activities: Day 1, Session 1, Activity 1, Stylish Snowball Game. Time 10 minutes. Materials: papers, pen, box. Notes to facilitator. Supply a piece of paper to each participant. Ask the participants to write 3 sentences about their striking appearance that can be identified by others. For example, I am tall, I have long hair, like this. Ask them to crumble the paper into ball. Collect the paper balls in a box. Call one participant and ask to pick one ball. Ask the participant to read out the sentences aloud written on the crumbled piece of paper. Ask the participant to identify that person with the help of information given in the piece of paper. Ask the identified person to tell his name using an adjective that best describes him or her, adding style to his or her introduction. For example, Suresh, signing Suresh. Kirti, kind Kirti, like this. Day 1, Session 1, Activity 2, Know Your Friend. Time 10 minutes. Material: paper slips, box, notes to facilitator. Divide the class into 2 groups, A and B, for this warm-up activity. Ask the members of Group B to write their names on paper slips and put them in a box. Each member of Group A comes and picks one slip and pairs with the person whose name is written in the slip. They come to know the details about each other, such as name, native place, designation, length of service, special achievements and hobbies, etc. The pair stands before the group and introduces each other to the gathering. Day 1, Session 1, Activity 3. Onion rings. Time 10 minutes. Materials: music player and speakers. Notes to facilitator. Divide the participant into 2 groups. A forms the inner circle and B forms the outer circle. Play some music intermediately. Ask the participants of inner and outer circle to move clockwise and anti-clockwise respectively once music is on. Ask them to stop moving when the music stops. Ask the participants to introduce themselves to the person in front of them. So, this is about the first session. Now, we are moving to second session. Session 2, English, the Global Gateway. Time 60 minutes. Learning objectives. The session will enable the participants to acknowledge the fact that English is no more a foreign language, understand that The professional course require English language knowledge. English language knowledge ensures better employability. Realize that English is a unifying force to bind us as a nation heading for advancement and innovation. Reduces fears to communicate in English. Day 1, Session 2, Activity 1. Jam. Just a minute. Time 10 minutes. Materials. Simple objects like water bottle, mobile phone, watch, keys, book, etc. Notes for the facilitator. Invite 6 volunteers and ask them to pick any object lying in front of them. Ask them to speak for a minute about that object in their mother tongue. Note down all the English expressions used by the speaker. Indicate with the help of your notes that English language is blended in our daily communication. Discuss that common words such as gate, shirt, electronic equipments, automobiles, etc. are part of our daily lives. Discuss the origin of the words tomato, potato, chilies, and tell them that though these vegetables or fruits are of foreign origin, they are the most important part of our food today. We have accepted many things of foreign origins. Why not English, which is now part of our daily lives? Day 1, Session 2, Activity 2, Fusion Dance. Time 10 minutes. Materials, computer, projector, screen. Video, Despacito. So we have to play a video here. By clicking the link, you can play the video or download and play it. Notes to the facilitator. Show the video of foreigners performing Indian classical dance on a fusion music in Spanish. Ask the participants whether they enjoyed the video. Provide questions for the debate. Did you enjoy the classical dance with the Western Spanish music? Can we spread our culture if we change the choreography? Do you think our culture is getting ruined or globalized? Point out that young talented dancers, singers and other artists are losing interest in these art forms and thus many are on the verge of the dying out. Highlight that if we fuse different styles or forms, then we can create something new and also spread our rich culture in the world. Explain that giving life to the dying culture and art forms is interlinked with social context. Day 1, Session 2, Activity 3. Know from unknown. Time 10 minutes. Materials, computer, projector, screen, video and handout number 1. Notes to facilitator. Show a pattern of video of woman introducing herself in a different language. Self-introduction in Kannada. Alternatively, if you know a language which the participants don't know, then introduce yourself in that language. Pick up a few words and produce their meanings in English and Telugu for her introduction. Script can be displayed on the screen or can be given in the form of handouts. Summing up of this activity, children between 4 to 12 have the ability to learn languages quickly. Knowledge of one language leads to learning of another language. People of Andhra Pradesh are more familiar with English than the languages spoken in the neighboring states. We know more English words than Tamil, Kannada, Oriya or Marathi. Hence, learning English is easier than learning Tamil, Kannada, Oriya or Marathi. Day 1, Session 2, Activity 4. Happy Multilinguals. Time 10 minutes. Materials, computer, projector, screen, speakers. Video, Rajasthani old man speaking English at Jaisalmer Fort. Notes to the facilitator. Brainstorm on the idea of being a bi or multilingual. Ask the class how many languages they speak. Highlight that we are all bi or multilinguals. Ask the participants to discuss in pairs the advantages of being a bi or multilingual, and then as a whole class encourage participants to share their views. Play the video for the participants. Ask questions related to the video to check comprehension related to the kamayacha string musical instrument. Also ask what advantage does the man have because he knows English. Also bring in the discussion how we can share about music and culture with others if we know English. Encourage them to think how English will help our students to share cultural knowledge and experiences with a global audience. For instance, students can talk about their art form, stories, and cultural practices with a bigger audience through internet by using English. So, summing up, we need not be scared that one language will replace an existing language. We can learn any number of languages, but getting skills in them is important. Once they get skills of a particular language, using it as a medium of instruction would be very easy. India has been following the three language formula since 1968, and English is one of the three languages. Telugu is a living language and has stood testing times. It showed the world that it is the language of people. Telugu is expanding, new idioms and proverbs are added to Telugu language almost on daily basis. More than 20 news channels, half a dozen newspapers, a dozen entertainment channels, innumerable spiritual channels on TV, and India's most expensive or most active film industry are a few to mention to show how Telugu is thriving. Day 1, Session 3, English for Empowerment. Time 60 minutes. Learning objectives are: the session will enable the participants to understand that English opens up many opportunities. Recognize the importance of imparting English at primary level, making the participants realize that it is necessary to learn English to meet the present day demands, to understand the complexities involved in transaction. Day 1, Session 3, Activity 1, English for Professionals. Time 20 minutes. Materials handout number 2. Notes to facilitator. Ask the participants to sit in groups and appoint a reporter for each group. Distribute the handouts containing a few excerpts taken from professional courses, books. Ask each group to translate the content into their mother tongue. Ask the reporter to represent it on behalf of the group. Ask the participants what they understood from the given excerpts. Summing up, not everything which is written in Telugu is easier than English. Law text seemed easy as most of the law terminology has entered Telugu long back and we are familiar with it. However, this is not the case with most of the disciplines. A lot of technical and professional information is primarily available in English. Transaction of professional and technical text will lead to more complications. Scientific terminology translated into Telugu can be difficult and demotivating for students at a later point of time in their academic journey. Day 1, Session 3, Activity 2, Role Play. Time 20 minutes. Materials handout number 3. Notes to facilitator. Discuss the idea of a success story. Ask the participants why we need success stories in our life. You may ask one or two people to share a successful story from their life. Now tell the participants that they are going to listen a conversation between an ex-student and a primary teacher. Ask two participants to enact the role play given in the handout. Interact with the participants posing questions given like, what is the profession of the student? Is it a conventional or non-conventional profession? Why do you think he visited his primary teacher? What is the cause for his success? Highlight the fact that knowing English can allow our students to take up non-conventional different professionals such as financial consultant, policy manager, blogger, YouTuber, translator, computer programmer, call center executive, travel planner, bilingual entrepreneur, etc. Summing up, the facilitator should emphasize that English opens worldwide opportunities for learners. Effective learning of English begins at primary level. English language has become inevitable to meet present-day demands. Local livelihood is being governed by multinational companies. Day 1, Session 4, English as a cultural bridge. Time 60 minutes. Learning objectives. This session will enable the participants to understand that English is no foreign language. Realize that English helps Telugu culture grow. Know that English is thickly entwined with Telugu language. Know that Telugu and its culture are enriched with the help of English. Day 1, Session 4, Activity 1, Picture Interaction. Time 10 minutes. Materials, picture on projector. Notes to facilitator. Show the following picture on the projector. Ask the following questions to sensitize the participants. Do you know who is in the picture? Is he a Telugu person? Which country does he belong to? Can you say something about him? What could be his mother tongue? Now show the second picture and conclude the decision emphasizing on the positive aspects of knowing English to spread Telugu culture. Summing up, Charles P. Brown is the first modern Telugu lexicographer. Brown's dictionary is still in use. Brown is an Englishman. Many people like his loud Telugu and patronized it. There is hardly any theory to say that one who learns English shall become the English. The English we learn in India is Indian English. The lesson we teach in our classrooms are mostly Indianized in context and culture. Day 1, Session 4, Activity 2. Time 20 minutes. Materials required. Handout number 4. Notes to facilitator. Distribute the handouts to each participants. Ask them to read the text and respond to the questions given under the text. Invite discussion or to make them aware of how English plays an important role to act as a cultural bridge. Consolidate the discussion. Day 1, Session 4, Activity 3. Time 15 minutes. Materials. Handout number 5. Note to facilitator. Distribute the handouts containing the letter addressed to M.K. Gandhi. Use the following questions to generate discussion. Who is the person addressed in the letter? Could the receiver's mother tongue be helpful in understanding the feelings of the sender? How could the sender of the letter know about the addressee, means receiver? What language could establish such kind of understanding between the sender and the receiver. Could the sender of the letter learn the receiver's mother tongue to express his opinion? Day 1, Session 4, Activity 4. Time 10 minutes. Materials, videos. Notes to facilitator. Show the videos in Telugu and English. Ask the participants to watch out for any cultural contrasts. Let them realize that there is no difference in the moral and the theme, but only the language. See, here we have to show some stories like Panchatantra in English and as well as in Telugu. After showing that, you have to say that there is no difference in moral, the only difference in only language. So summing up, let us understand that Swami Vivekananda addressed the World Parliament of Religion in English and made the Indian culture popular. Culture is dynamic and keeps changing from time to time. We need to adopt English medium to connect ourselves with the world. Session 5, Not possible or not ready. Time 60 minutes. Learning objectives. The session will enable the participants to realize that attitude shapes our reality. Cultivate positive attitude towards change. Understand that we decide what is possible or impossible depending on our attitude. Day 1, Session 5, Activity 1. If they can, I can. Time 30 minutes. Materials, video, women speaking English and handout number 6. Notes to facilitator. Play a short video showing a few villagers talking in English to a few foreigners. Motivate the teachers to note that if the villagers can speak English, then highly educated people like them can too. Now divide the class into groups and assign the task from the given below. To each group, provide them ample time to think, discuss and finalize. Ask participants to make a presentation before the whole gathering. Day 1, Session 5, Activity 2, Opening our suitcase. Time 30 minutes. Materials, chart papers, sketch pens, plaster rolls. Notes to facilitator. Divide the participants into smaller groups. Discuss the idea of carrying suitcase wherever, whenever we travel, which can be metaphorically linked to the training program, whether we all carrying our insecurities, anxieties, strengths and doubts. Ask each group to discuss how prepared they feel to embrace the change in medium of instruction in schools. Ask the participants to create group posters highlighting their group strengths, weaknesses, insecurities and expectations from the workshop. Summing up, the facilitator should emphasize that if it is possible to learn English if we are open to new ideas and are willing to accept changes in our lives. The facilitator needs to pay attention to the expectations of the participants as they go ahead in the program. That's all for the day 1.
I hope this video is helpful to you. And I request you to forward this video to other resource persons that might be helpful to them. And I wishing you all the best.